Hello everyone, my name is Sarah and welcome to my first YouTube video on how to draw facial expressions. Now if you're the kind of person that will skip through the Netflix intros or won't read the 8 paragraphs before you get to the ingredients in a recipe, I am the exact same way. Sarah from the future is going to insert the timestamp where the actual content of this video begins. Otherwise, allow me to introduce myself. I am a digital and traditional artist. I've been painting digitally for about 4 years now, and I've been thinking about starting a YouTube video for quite some time, but there's always that, oh, I don't know how to video edit, there's so much I still have to learn. But actually what changed for me is I ordered Chinese takeout and a fortune cookie called me out. We all love a good fortune cookie call out. So I opened the first fortune cookie, and when I opened it up, it said, "What are you waiting for?" And of course I took that to be a sign, even though the second one said, "Make it rain lo mein today." Honestly, both are pretty good advice. I don't recommend fortune cookie based decision making as your primary form of decision making, but it'll work in a pinch. So if you're looking for a sign to go do the thing, what are you waiting for? Now let's get started. When I'm looking for reference photos, I normally will go through Pinterest and start finding, in this case, all of these different expressions that I want to draw. Interesting looking people that have a dynamic expression. So if you kind of want to go through on your own and do the same sort of exercise, look through Pinterest, find a couple of expressions, or decide to go ahead and utilize the ones that I've provided in this video, feel free to follow along. Alright, so one of the first things that I do, it's more of a mental exercise when I'm looking at a reference photo, is I go ahead and map out all of the important lines. And by important, I mean, what are the lines that are really communicating the expression? I normally look at the angle of the eyebrows, the corners of the mouth, and the eyes. The eyes are where we hold a lot of our emotion. I mean, there's a reason why Tyra Banks tells all of her models to smize, right? Now at this point, I've started sketching out the general shape of the face in Procreate, and I'm keeping in mind those important lines that we sketched out earlier. Another thing to think about is, in some of these more extreme expressions, we might want to think about squash and stretch of the face. So if someone's scrunching up their face real tight, then you're going to want to squash their proportions. Versus if they're opening their mouth real wide, you are going to want to stretch their features. And it helps to make the face as you're going along with it. You'll also notice I did deviate from my reference. I thought she needed a ponytail, so I added that in. Next up, we've got, I think this is Brenda Song from Sweet Life of Zack and Cody, but she has this really puzzled, quizzical expression, so I thought it would be kind of fun to draw. I'm doing the same exercise, and here I'm purposely keeping the hair in one big shape. Simplifying your reference photo and thinking in those big shapes can really prevent you from getting too bogged down in the details. And it's also okay if your sketches start out looking kind of ugly. That's part of the process. And when I'm stylizing a portrait, I usually like to play around with the proportions. I like to be somewhere in between cartoony but not too cartoony, so I'll make the eyes bigger or smaller according to that. And now we're on to our third portrait, probably the most exaggerated of the three. So once again, I'm mapping out the important lines. Here the eyebrows are a big one, so I'm focusing a lot on that in the facial expression, exaggerating that arch. And then when I start coloring my sketches, I like to focus on using color to map out those big shapes, and then getting down to the details like adding in shadows, adding in a little bit of a cheek color, and defining the hair strands. So my sketch layer here, I've reduced the opacity of, and I'm actually painting on a layer under it. Here I'm keeping the hair in one big shape like I mentioned before, and then erasing to kind of get those finer details. I find that doing things this way just yields a cleaner result. I realized I kind of overcomplicated the first drawing, so there I'm going back and removing some of those yellow highlights in the hair just to keep it consistent with the other two that I'm drawing. I'm being pretty choosy with the wrinkles that I choose to draw, because if you draw too many, you might end up making your character look a lot older than originally intended. And that is about it. I'll go in and I'll quickly readjust for positioning, and then color adjust for saturation. And here's the finished drawing. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and to see more like it, please subscribe, give this video a like, and tag me if you decided to follow along. See you in the next one!